Making a game on the scale of Halo takes hundreds of people with different skills, a singular vision, and time. Lots of time. But before a game reaches store shelves, the team must create thousands of assets that are tracked in 2-week deadlines we call sprints. 343 Industries invites you to join us on our journey, creating Halo 5 Guardians from the ground up, one painting, sound, and line of code at a time. This is the sprint.
So we're coming down to the end of this sprint for Midship 2.0 is what some of the teams are calling it.
A fan favorite, and it's coming back.
The deadline being that we got to get it off to art. There's going to be some stuff that we will lose, but it's all in the name of keeping the design awesome, but also the map's got to look amazing, right?
This map is going to be a piece of cake.
No. Dude, no.
So this is a map for the multiplayer preview. That means it's the first time that the public's going to actually be able to see the game. Getting the layout of the space is one thing, and that's already been done. Taking that layout and converting it to something that's actually really pretty, that's where environment art comes in. I live in the Bemis building. It's a 100-year-old converted factory that has been turned into artist lofts here in Seattle. So this is where I live. It's also where I do some of my work when I'm at home. I have a lot of weird stuff. My mom was a collector. She collected antiques, paintings and tapestries and stuff like that. And I started doing the same thing.
There are always discussions when it comes to level design and to the way we make maps. What should come first, what should come second, and mostly what is the best balance between art and gameplay. For Midship, we've been going into having a full level that is totally playable and that has been tested and tested in a lot of ways, and now we need to artify it. As a result, we need to keep the concept artist here creating the most badass visual ever. That's the goal. Then we can adapt that stuff. We can adapt these visuals to the gameplay intents, but once again, we need to be careful to just not be crippled on the art side. In French, I would say we will be walking on eggs. We will just be very careful about finding and keeping the best balance between both. And if we don't find the right balance, we're going to be in trouble.
Oh, you gotta do that. We can probably get started. All right. Hey, everyone. We're gonna start. Just quickly, remember this is the preview map, so it needs to be done and finished up this summer. So just something to keep in mind. So go for it, Vic.
This is probably where the meat of your potato is going to go. The potato of your meat? The chunk of meat that you are going to have. This is going to be your biggest chunk of meat, right? Okay, so it's based on 3 different maps. They're all based off of each other. It started off from the Halo 2 Midship map, a little bit of Halo 3's Heretic, and elements of Halo Reach's Zealot map. And then the fiction for this is that it is en route to a battle. We're not sure which one yet. Some talks have been about making it en route to the first Halo, along with the rest of the Covenant fleet. Right now, we're not 100% positive because narrative team hasn't given us the okay yet, but we really love the idea of it being the ship owned by the Arbiter, but we're just waiting for approval. And that's Midship 2.0. We're currently in mass out phase. And it's a pretty tricky couple of weeks here for us. The rest of my team are going to be taking drawings from the concept team, and they're going to be modeling this stuff by hand. but we also have to deliver something in a style that has changed quite a bit, which is Covenant style. So you combine those two things and, you know, my blood pressure goes up another 20 points. Generally, what happens is John will make the very first image of the map. And everyone will fly this around and saying, this is going to be the new midship.
This right here is the first sketch of the midship design. We had this part that Nicholas designed earlier that we really liked, so we just rendered that out and tried to make the whole level based on that type of form.
The issue is that you see these huge central columns. I think they were creating too much disruption into that scene, taking too much importance, and besides, it was getting in the way of the gameplay. So we actually scraped these in order to have smaller structures around, and we actually just put that stuff out.
Yeah, I would try to add these things. I don't even want to mention what they look like, but just a little bit more view through the whole building. But it was also like a failed attempt, and here you can see the actual star map that we started to work into there.
So we want all that stuff to be flowy in a certain way. Even more in an organic map, because this is so organic, to the point where sometimes we were wondering if we were not going too organic. If you don't have one straight wall into these levels, how is the player going to relate to that?
Can we get the AC unit in the picture?
That's R2-D2 on steroids.
We're on red right over here, right?
Is death cam off?
No, we're on blue.
That intro.
Like that call out?
Look at that, dude.
Yeah, like Art really messed up the line of sight originally.
Let's go.
Muffins, one shot, bottom middle. So we had to go back and try to open it back up.
Two guys at blue. Two guys at blue looking at carbine.
Art's job is to make sure the maps look as good as possible.
Bob, one shot, car one.
Oh, got me with sword.
One shot P2, guys. One shot P2.
Our job is to make sure the maps play as good as possible.
Yeah, you're dead. Correction. Carbine's getting kind of fixed. This used to be extended out really far out, like here, so you can even see the base from this area. I mean, there were big changes that were completely ruining the map, but it's definitely way better than it was before.
Center is big enough to support like gameplay across pink and carbine. It's creating a new power position for midship, which midship's always been known for the bases and pink tower and carbine.
We got worked as a team. One other thing too, I noticed like it's hard to clamber, or unless I just completely messed up going from P2 to P3 from the sides.
I saw that too.
Yeah, we're gonna need Quinn to check up on that. Oh, come on. Oh.
No, not necessarily. Like, it doesn't have to have that. What I'm looking for, though, is you see how I have these hard bone lines going up around here? But it's ugly. It's ugly, and I need you to do a little bit of your magic. There has to be this passage, this passage, this passage, this ramp, this thing, this cuts in underneath. Like, all these things need to happen. Like these panel lines, it's all up to you. These sweeping shapes, it's all up to you.
Can you think of like some kind of like little like panel that might work for here? Sketch me something.
One big
okay.
shape.
Okay.
That's being cut like
Actually, that makes a lot of sense. Just start pulling it. Just have some of it peek out a little bit so you see that, oh yeah, there's all these power things coming in. The only thing I need is just to finish rounding it out.
Yeah.
Because right now it's a diamond and not a circle.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty good about it? You're feeling good about this deadline? That's the mass out deadline going into construction?
Be honest, Tim.
You know, we could always use more time.
Realistically, we could always use more time, but at that point, it'll never get done. Tomorrow, Sparth will be looking at all the maps currently in production, and that's where we're going to get our feedback for a lot of midship right now. He's got the vision, he's got the eye, and we just got to make it happen.
Woo! There's Sparth. But yeah, so Jeremy will roll on after CBS.
Great. It's Quinn.
Pop collar and all.
Definitely on time.
Not pop collar, it's a jacket.
We've had some issues with the Covenant style. I think what we were trying to figure out is for this new style, going through the several different concepts, we had our original piece right here, and we had the very first mood piece right over here. And so what we were trying to do was reconcile the language between all three of these new pieces.
Can you go back on the sidewall? If you can just have if you zoom out on a general view. Yeah, so see, when we put things into chunks design-wise, we got to make sure that there's still going to be an organic connection between all that stuff. There's a lot of chunks here. We have to just have all that stuff make sense on both sides. Could it be through like a line flow that will actually like go from one opening inside to the other? We need to just find that. It's always the same. It's always like big shapes, mid shapes, small shapes. What are the interaction and how does it read? If it's dynamic and based on a progression in terms of size and scale, it's awesome. The sidewalls are still not there exactly, but it's just a question of tweaking.
Quinn, any other concerns, comments, things to remind people of?
Players still able to get on top of the pink base. You leave your side bases and you go up the main two high streets, and then you could jump and get up on top.
No, it doesn't look like it.
We don't want it to read like something where someone is cheating to get up there, because it's intentionally designed for people to be in this spot that's very vulnerable, but not something that they could walk on and then get caught on little geometry pieces.
We just got to curve a few things. It's not a big deal. You can run up here, and that way you can clamber up to the bridge, or you can clamber up to the top. Yeah.
So ideally, if we could accomplish that, that'd be fantastic.
Also, reminder for everyone, this map must be remixed as well for this map. So we're going to start discussing with people, Pro Team, the artists, Adrian, etc., and begin to figure out kind of what can we do for the remix time.
All right, I'm going to bring this up.
What?
Quinn.
What are you pointing at me for?
The rumor is Quinn suggested to flip the map upside
That is
down.
not me.
I heard it was you.
Back me up.
Okay, someone said flipping it upside down would make interesting playfield possibilities.
That was an idea.
Is it, but seriously, is it an idea? 180 degrees, I don't know. Is there something we should look into?
I'm just requesting one thing. When we think about the remixes, think about the initial function of these levels, not only from a gameplay standpoint, but also on a narrative standpoint. Having a bit of a storytelling intent that is going to be helping the concept artists and the visual guys to actually put more impactful storytelling into it.
Okay, anything else?
We want this whole center area to be a place where people go. This is like a huge firing lane right here. So augment the size of these shields themselves. And this would protect them from fire from this direction. Because right now that doesn't exist. You have this look on your face like that's quite possibly the worst idea you've ever.
No. That's the face I make when I'm hearing a good idea.
Oh, okay.
It's just I've
so
trained
you look
myself.
displeased when you have a good
I've
idea.
trained myself to do that. I just want it to be pretty, man.
And it will be.
Just want it to be
It will
pretty.
be, yeah, for sure.
I know. I hear you. Okay.
Thank you, sir. You guys are still here?
In the beginning, it was design, and then design handed it off to environment art, which was us. And now it's still us, but we are now kind of working with all the other groups. The effects team, the lighting team, the UI team for special symbols and things like that. What happens during construction is we get super detailed and we start going in and fleshing out little areas that we call beauty corners. It might look still very loosey-goosey on the sides, but when you look at this one little corner, it'll be beautiful, it'll be like shippable, it'll be our bar for quality.